If there's no hope left for me, let the doctors try experimental drugs anyway. Maybe it'll save someone else down the line. That final, private directive was kept entirely secret from the public until this week, when Stella Parton decided to share the exact words her sister spoke in her final days. Following the news of Dolly Parton's passing at age 80 on August 25, 2026, after a brief battle with cancer, the entertainment world fell into a state of immense global mourning. But while millions were sharing performance clips and streaming her historic catalog, Stella Parton took to social media to reveal the intimate, unseen reality of her sister's final chapter. Stella detailed a sacred tradition the two sisters maintained for decades. A phone call every single Tuesday morning before sunrise, where the pair would drink coffee, catch up on gossip, and talk through life. It was during these quiet conversations, far removed from stage lights and public eye, that Dolly revealed her final medical decision. When it became clear that her health challenges were insurmountable, Dolly insisted on agreeing to experimental treatments, not in a desperate bid to prolong her own life, but with the explicit instruction that any data gathered by her physicians at Vanderbilt could potentially cure or assist future patients. The online reaction across digital commentary spaces, music forums, and social platforms was immediate and profoundly emotional. On TikTok and X, creators began breaking down Stella's written statement, focusing heavily on how Dolly viewed the endless media circus around her health. Stella recalled how whenever she would complain to Dolly about online rumors or bad faith critics, Dolly would laugh and say, "Shoot, Tetta, we've got more important things to do than worry about their silly asses." Short-form videos, featuring that direct quote, quickly began trending, with users highlighting the stark contrast between how modern internet commentary operates and how Dolly consistently rose above toxic outrage culture. To analyze why Stella's statement struck such a massive chord, one has to examine the wider mechanics of creator culture and public grief. In an era dominated by dramatic online feuds, sensationalized medical updates, and influencers converting personal struggles into monetization, Dolly Parton lived out the absolute inverse. Even when online channels churned out speculative health videos over the past year, Dolly and her inner circle maintained complete editorial dignity. By choosing to turn her own terminal diagnosis into a final act of medical philanthropy, Dolly fundamentally reframed what it means to be a public figure in the digital age. To analyze why Stella's statement struck such a massive chord, one has to examine the wider mechanics of creator culture and public grief. In an era dominated by dramatic online feuds, sensationalized medical updates, and influencers converting personal struggles into monetization, Dolly Parton lived out the absolute inverse. Even when online channels churned out speculative health videos over the past year, Dolly and her inner circle maintained complete editorial dignity. By choosing to turn her own terminal diagnosis into a final act of medical philanthropy, Dolly fundamentally reframed what it means to be a public figure in the digital age. The situation also offers critical insight into how legacy public figures navigate privacy versus public duty. Stella's decision to speak out wasn't aimed at settling scores or stoking tabloid interest. Instead, it served as a masterclass in protective advocacy for an icon's true memory. It reminded the digital ecosystem that behind the glittering wigs, rhinestones, and larger-than-life persona was a woman whose grounded values remained completely untouched by 6 decades of global fame. Differentiating verified public facts from online commentary keeps the broader narrative grounded. Factually confirmed, Stella Parton released a public tribute detailing Dolly's request for experimental medical treatments to aid future research. Factually confirmed, the sisters maintained a private Tuesday morning phone ritual throughout Dolly's career. What remains unverified social media speculation are clickbait assertions regarding internal family friction or sensationalized accounts of her final estate distribution as fans around the world adjust to a landscape without country music's ultimate matriarch. Stella's quiet disclosure leaves us facing an uplifting upcoming response possibility. Will Dolly's final act of medical research lead to groundbreaking clinical advances, ensuring that her legacy saves lives long after her last song has played?